championship. Let's take it.
Yes, great. Yes, great.
Hello and welcome to the Thresher Football Show. I'm Dan Page alongside head football coach at Bethel College, A.B. Stokes. Bethel College 4-3 on the season after starting divisional play with a 33-24 victory over McPherson coming out of the gate after a bye week. And the Threshers get that all-important first divisional win in the first game, so it's very important. Bethel, you guys really just came out from the get-go and wanted to make a statement, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's just statement. Wanting to just play well, want to do something to give our guys a little bit of a boost. You know what I mean? Want to set the atmosphere with it being Fall Fest and all of that. You know, we definitely Coach didn't. He was talking about taking a shot for a while, for like almost 2 weeks. He was talking about, we're gonna take a shot on the first play. This is the play. I remember he called me up. I think it was a bye week or maybe that Monday, and he calls me up and he's like, hey, I got the first play because he was saying, I want to take a shot. Then he finally figured out what he's gonna do. He's like, I got the first play. We're doing, I forgot the formation in this play. I ain't going to say the play, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
In this play. And, man, I was sitting there. I remember laying on the couch. I was acting like I was really into it, but I was watching some show with my wife. So I was just like, oh, yeah, man. That'll work, man. Good job. And so it worked, though. It was fun.
It was for sure. A 72-yard touchdown pass after the kickoff return. And you guys get on the board first with the touchdown from DJ Sears to Trayvon Madison. DJ ended up passing for 158 on the day, and your team rushed for 193 in the ball game, and you guys able to get that 33-24 victory in the first quarter. A little bit slower. You guys went up 9-0. I believe it was a 32 or 33-yard field goal from Carson Sauceda that put you guys up 9-0, and then he would go on to make another one for you. Mm-hmm. And what was it, 12-0 before McPherson got on the
12-3.
Yeah, it was 12-3. Yeah, that's right, because they got it within 12-10. In the second half, mm-hmm. And the game was got a little bit interesting there because they started feeling pretty confident about themselves. They were moving the ball a little bit. They had some things that worked out, but in the end, I mean, they made some mistakes that you guys took advantage of, to say the least. But you guys had some great plays, nonetheless. I mean, it's not necessarily mistakes. It's your guys, making those things difficult for the opponent in those situations. Well, what I'm thinking of mainly is there in the second half when you guys punt the football and Damon Lavelle goes down and recovers the muffed punt at the 20-yard line. That was huge, and you guys set up a touchdown there a couple plays later, and then Jairo Castillo and Jarek Woodley. Jarek gets the sack. I mean, first of all, on that play, the coverage did great.
Yes.
You guys did a great job of making that pocket just close in.
Yes.
And then Jarrett comes behind him and strips it. And then Jairo has I talked to him after the game. I was like, I didn't even know it was you running the ball because I've never seen you run it before. Yeah. Here he goes going the other way. And I'm just like looking because you guys, your gray uniforms, I'm telling you, are the hardest to read ever. And I even screwed up a touchdown call on a pass to Trayvon Madison in the second half because I couldn't. It was either him or Kenyon McMillan. I couldn't tell who it was, and everything. But I mean, Jairo ran that back, and it was awesome. And some big plays when you guys needed it. Yes, McPherson made it close in the second half, 33-24 at the end. But a win's a win, as you said earlier this season. Doesn't matter what the point differential is.
Absolutely, and that game right there was kind of obviously you want to get the win, especially in the first district game, because every week, it's kind of like surviving advance. Because we talked about this. I believe we talked about this on the last show, but here in a little bit, it's going to be teams that they're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this week we still have life, and that's the beauty. I think we put ourselves in a better position by taking the first game in a better position, for the next 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Because then I never anticipate dropping a game ever. You know what I mean? But when you look at it like this, you can say like, oh well, somebody's gonna drop a game. You know what I mean? One of the top teams in this division, like Southwestern, has already dropped a game. Somebody's gonna drop a game and still kind of be in it. Right. And so when you do it that first one, it kind of it tightens you up even more. So we've got 4 games left. And we got we focus on this week to try to put ourselves in a position for the next week to be sitting there like, hey, we're still in the driver's seat. You know what I mean? We're still in the driver's seat, and that's the whole thing. And I tell you, man, the guys just focus in, and even though McPherson, they credit to them, they did a great job to close the gap of the score. But I'm telling you, our guys, man, we never wavered. We never doubted for a second that we weren't going to finish that game. We were like, hey, here it is. Like, we just need another stop then. We need another stop. They got the onside kick and scored. It's like, all right, we need to get the ball. Get the onside kick. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where we felt like we played well enough to win the game, and then our mentality was strong enough to just finish the game. Like, we're not getting out of it. We're not letting them get out of here with a win. That was kind of the vibe of the sideline. Like, it was like, okay, a couple bad things have happened here. They scored 14 points in a matter of about 4 minutes, right? And it's like, nope, stop now. You know what I mean? Like, we are still in control of this, and our guys did a great job. But like I said, credit to McPherson, because they are a good football team. If you think they're going to get out of this division winless, I don't believe that. You know what I mean? Right. I don't believe that. I think that they're going to definitely get some people. So because they've got a good football team. So we would, like I said, we're happy to get the win. And from this point on, though, in divisional play, man, we call it like playoffs, man. It's survive in advance. Nobody wants to drop a game. It's survive in advance. 1 point, 3 points, 50 points, man. Survive in advance. So.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, I mean, so many players, doing, at least one big play in the game, but there's many more that came to it because it takes 11 on every side of the football. But I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, we need to do a better job of pointing out some guys on the show here, because we used to do this all the time. But man, you had Ernest Ferrier had a great sack.
Yes, he did.
Reese Bennett got a sack for you guys, I believe. I mean, he played very well nonetheless, if I'm wrong. But 2 interceptions. Brennan Sanders and Robin Neely, each with interceptions for your team. Okay. And that was important. Carson Sauceda made both field goal attempts. Yep. The PAT wasn't necessarily his fault per se. It's just got
pressure
blocked
up the middle. Yeah, but we fixed it right away. And then then not only did he make 2 field goal attempts, but we had that penalty that pushed us back on an extra point that we end up kicking.
You made an NFL extra point against the wind.
Sort of, it was against the wind for sure. So but they all, man, they do great jobs, man. And one person that I'd like to shout out is Jacob Reyes. Now, statistically, he didn't have the game of his life statistically, but we were challenging these guys, man. We just got a little bit outside of ourselves, you know what I mean, and doing some things that, wasn't beneficial to us, and kind of challenge these guys to just play the game. If guys are out there talking, man, just get set. Of course, nobody's going to be perfect. It's going to be times where you're drawing back and forth with your opponent. But I called him out in our meeting today, and and then him privately as well. So I just want to take this moment, man, just to say, hey, man, Jacob, we see he played a great game, especially mentally. Man, he was just he was steady. He was what we needed. His energy, was huge for us on the outside, and the theme of the week, was faith, and we talked about kind of how, our pastor at church talks about faith is belief plus behavior.
Yes.
And I told these, that I shared that with our team. And I'm like, behavior, what kind of behavior? If you believe that what we're doing is going to, lead to some form of success, then this is how you would behave. And, man, he demonstrated his faith, I would say in us for sure, through his behavior, man, this past game and this past week. And it's just continued, man. Those guys are they've had a great week thus far.
Yeah, definitely. And I know this is a strong word, but yeah, along with what you were saying, the obedience to, stay within the team and, not separate yourself from that mentally or any way impossible. I think that was important as well. And no doubt you guys had that energy. I talked to so many guys before and after the game, and it's kind of funny because Caden Christensen and I, during the team meal, we used to always talk.
Yeah.
This was the first time we talked before the game at lunch all season long.
Oh,
so,
wow.
I mean, so it's things like that I really appreciate from you guys' team, and you guys just have a genuine concern for one another and where everybody's at, and just making sure everybody's on the same page and everybody's valued. Doesn't matter what their performance on the field or practice is. If they're part of this, they're part of this.
For sure.
That's been something that's really awesome to see. So the Threshers get the victory 33-24 over McPherson to improve at 4-3 on the season, and he could basically throw out the first 6 games because you guys are 1-0 in this point, in my opinion. And now they get a chance to take on Southwestern at 1:30 this week in Winfield, and it should be an exciting game on the KCAC network. Kurt Caden will have the call for that one from Winfield. But I do want to run through a few more things from the McPherson game, just looking at different statistics and things like that from your football team. And different categories. Cade Miller played out of his mind again.
He did. I don't know how we hadn't mentioned Cade Miller yet. He
tackled everybody. Man,
he is it's no secret, man. He's a leader, man. He's a leader, especially on that defense, man. And he's a guy. He's going to give his all. He gives it every week, but especially now, knowing what's on the line. Like, that's the thing. We don't hide it from these guys. What's on the line right now? We don't try to treat it. These last 5 games are not like the first 6. They are not. They're different. They're like we talked about this.
Right.
They're more important, and it's important to understand that, because if you go through and you try to treat it like it's just any other game, well, your opponent might not be.
Right.
And if you have the mentality that is any other game, you could be in trouble. And Cade is the definition of understanding. I mean, he's just a definition of just how to take it to another level, especially at this point in the season. So
yeah, your top 4 or 5 tacklers all had at least 10 tackles. Cade with 13, and I believe Tate Siebold with 12. Grant Godsey with 11, and Brendan Sanders, I believe, had 10 and an interception.
Yes, he did.
That was his best performance defensively in a game statistically all season long. I know he gives it everything he's got every single time, but that was a great performance from him as well. Just the specifics: Jarek Woodley, Doug Grider, Ernest Ferrier, and Jairo Castillo. All in the sack column, I should say, in that regard. Even though Tristan Szabo throws the ball 50 times for 310 yards, you guys did pretty well against him. They love to go to those quick hitters, and that's their bread and butter, and they get a quick 5 yards, and sometimes it's better than handing the ball off in some situations, especially what your defense was doing against the run. How many yards did they have rushing the football? I mean,
-2, right?
Yeah, it was in single digits, and so
2 yards, maybe it was 2.
Yeah, and so I mean. And then a few guys stepping forward for you that it's all season long you have different guys in different games, and Myron Randall comes up with 3 big catches for you guys when you needed them. Trayvon Madison with 6 receptions in the ball game, and I believe over 100 yards receiving in the game. DJ Sears rushes for 152 in it. Trayvon Madison was 127 for you guys.
With 2 touchdowns, right?
Yep, 2 touchdown catches. And, it was a great performance from your team. And I mentioned the interceptions as well. And, Jackson Walker did some great things with field position for you guys and getting them inside the 20. And it was really cool to see. I just said, I'm guessing it was his dad there with him before the game retrieving punts for him. Came out on the field, and that's NAIA football for you.
Yes, it is.
That's spectacular, and it's so great to have families.
It may have been Carson Salcedo's dad. He's out there too.
Okay,
catching the football.
I got you. But yeah, it's pretty neat to see that it is a family element, and it's not just after the game kind of a thing. So it was really encouraging to see as the Threshers get the victory, 33-24. Looking at some other conference ball games in divisional play, we'll start with the Bissell division. Kansas Wesleyan and Avila. The Coyotes go up to Kansas City and win 34-16. And that ball game, Ottawa on the road at St. Mary, making probably the shortest road trip for them other than Avila, and won at 28-17 over the Spires. I still think Ottawa and K-Dub, when they play, that'll be a big divisional cider for the Bissell division. And then the final game in the Bissell division was Tabor against Sterling, and the Blue Jays win it at Sterling 24-10, and they're on a roll now that they seemingly have found their quarterback to lead them going forward. So you never know what they're going to be like.
And the thing is that their defense is good. They've got a really good defense.
And they held Evangel to 2 touchdowns.
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody they've held under their norm. You know what I mean? Everybody. They've held under their norm. So with an offense that if they can score 20, 25-ish points a game, man, they're gonna have a chance.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a chance. I'm telling you, watch them to be right. Tabor, Ottawa, that'd be an interesting game. And then to see, I don't know who plays first, if they play Ottawa or Kansas Wesleyan, but if they're able to get some confidence against a team like Ottawa, then I think that Tabor Kansas Wesleyan game is going to be very, very interesting. Because, like I said, Tabor's defense, man, they're giving people trouble. So you heard it here first. Watch out for the Blue Jays, man. I'm not just saying that because we fell in that trap. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But no, I think their defense is for real, man. And like you said, with them, solidifying their quarterback to lead their offense, man. And they've got a veteran coach, so it's what it is, man. It's exciting. Look, I need to, once I'm done coaching, I'm gonna be an analyst here with you. We'll start some KCAC stuff.
Oh my gosh. It would make things more interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I might have some voice after Saturday night's games with all the games I do every week.
Yeah.
Other games now turning to the Kessinger division. Of course, the Threshers win it 33-24 at home over McPherson. Friends wins at home against Southwestern in a big game of note, 35-20 in that contest. And then the final game in the division, Evangel goes on the road and defeats Bethany 34-11. And so, some of those things you might have expected, but I knew Friends in Southwestern was going to be a big game.
Oh yeah.
Both teams playing well. Southwestern at the time was ranked number 6 in the country, and the Friends got up early on them.
Yeah, they did.
And they took care of business at home. They did everything that they needed to do.
Yes, they did. And they here's the thing. Everybody knows it. The flex bone is the equalizer, man. It's an equalizer. If you can hold people to low points and just keep, and you can get up some scores, man, it's hard. And don't start running. And Cavante Baker, man, he's a really good quarterback over there. Like listen, they're a good team, But at the same token, that does not take away from Southwestern either. Like Friends is a good team and they beat a good team. Like Southwestern's a good team too. You know what I mean? So. And then Evangel's a good team, and guess what? Bethany's a good team too. You know what I mean? And so is McPherson. So we're just sitting here looking at all these good teams. Like, okay,
there's 3 teams in the same division that are ranked.
I know, and it's crazy. I was telling somebody, they was like, "How's Southwestern?" I was like, 6-1, ranked.
Yep.
Then Friends, ranked.
Yep.
Then Evangel, ranked. So
Yep.
it's just like, hey man, let's just go. Let's just go through the gauntlet, roll the dice. Come on, let's go, man.
They're gonna have to seriously consider shuffling some things up.
It does.
After
it
I know it doesn't.
Yeah,
but seriously.
Yeah. It shuffled up 2 years. The thing that kind of that messed it up is that everybody kind of got new coaches.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like the coaches left from Avila. Obviously, Friends got Harrison and his guys, and then I come here, and then Evangel comes to the conference, who gets nothing. And
Bethany's new coach.
Bethany, new coach, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? McPherson, they were already trending up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So their because it went off the last 2 years, but last year was a better year than the previous one. So they were trending up. So it's just kind of the shuffle. It was just a luck of it really was a blind draw because it took the top, like the records of the last 2 years or something like that, and said, all right, these were the best, separate them. Then these two, separate them. Then these two, separate them. But it was like everybody was kind of going, and it's just like, wow. When I looked at it though the first time, I just kind of chuckled like, yep, that's a meat grinder right there, man.
Oh yeah,
that's a meat grinder.
That's for sure.
Yep.
So the Thresher is getting set to take on Southwestern College. It's at 1:30 this week from Winfield, and you can watch it on the KCAC network if you don't make it out. And fall's officially here, but day games are officially back. We played a couple already, but now that it's getting a little chilly, the heat of the sun is a glorious thing. It got a little bit chilly in the Fall Fest game, but hey, I think it was fine.
Dan, it was cold.
Oh, come on now.
Hey, we just had that conversation about you like it cold like that, but man, it was.
Some of your guys have experienced worse here.
Yes,
before.
they had, but it was the first, what I call the first cold game of the season, at least for me. You know what I mean? But,
there you go.
But advantage Threshers, man. Let's
there you go. So. Absolutely. Bethel wins at 33-24 and gets the first win of divisional play and looks to add to that this coming week against Southwestern. We'll take a timeout here on the Thresher Football Show. When we come back, we'll talk about the Mound Builders and the Threshers coming up next.
Thresher fans, get ready for the upcoming school year by becoming a member of the Bethel Booster Club. Your membership impacts all athletic programs by paying for experiences last year, such as the Threshbees Award Show, postseason experiences and postseason tickets, the Hall of Fame banquet, enhanced live streaming equipment, new banners in Thresher Gym, equipment for the Gearing Hall weight room, windscreens at Ward Tennis Center, and Thresher Stadium. Be a part of Thresher Athletics history and a booster club that is living out the Bethel College Athletics mission by creating life-changing experiences for our student athletes through 4 levels of membership plus parent and young alumni specials. Athletics is an integral part of the Bethel College experience, and thanks to your support, we look forward to growing our success for the future. Visit BethelThreshers.com/Booster Club to become a member today.
Welcome back to the Thresher Football Show. Dan Page alongside head football coach at Bethel College, A.B. Stokes. Bethel College getting set to play their second Kessinger Divisional football game this week against Southwestern College. Always a classic when Bethel College and Southwestern College get together. I mean, you can go back the last 5 years. Definitely every single game was, who knew what was going to happen? Who could have predicted it in so many situations, even going into overtime once. But a great game in store between the Threshers and the Mound Builders this week in Winfield. And you can watch it at 1:30 in the afternoon from Winfield. And just real quickly before we get to talk about Southwestern specifically, let's run down the conference docket for this week. A lot of 1 o'clock games. There's a 3 o'clock and even a 5 o'clock game, according to the KCACsports.com website.
Okay.
A 1 o'clock contest in McPherson as McPherson looks to bounce back against Bethany College. The Swedes going on the road after falling to Evangel last week. Both teams trying to get back in the win column after their first divisional games. In other action, Tabor hosting Avila. Should be an interesting game to follow from 1 o'clock in Hillsboro. Ottawa at home against Sterling. And that game is also at 1 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock from Nixa, Missouri, Friends goes on the road to Evangel. Another big game for the Falcons. And the Valor will definitely be a tough test they play a lot of good teams at home this year. Kansas Wesleyan, Bethel, Friends, a lot of good tests on there. I'm not sure if they play Southwestern in Winfield or in Nixa, Missouri, but nonetheless, it's going to be a great game when those two teams get together here pretty soon. And then rounding out the conference slate, a 5 o'clock kick from Salina as Kansas Wesleyan hosts St. Mary. That's your conference docket for this week, October 21st, 2023. And this week is the Threshers against the Mound Builders, as Southwestern comes in after a 35-20 loss to Friends, their first loss of the season. They'd had some close calls a little bit in non-divisional action, especially right out of the gate in week 0 against Ottawa was a tough game, and they have a talented team. They have a talented QB and very well coached, and a lot of returners on both sides of the football, and they always, it doesn't matter if it's their first, second, or third string quarterback, they always have a QB. But Braden Howell, a local product out of Bishop Carroll in Wichita, is their starter, and he's had a phenomenal year. And it's kind of the usual suspects, some of his primary targets, I guess you could say. He knows Matt Holthusen pretty well. They both went to college together, or high school and college together a little bit. But Braden's thrown the football. He's completed 134 passes for 1,774 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, averaging 250 yards passing per contest. Martez Jones, a running back that Bethel will probably be familiar with. He's among their top rushers, as well as Sam Hunter, a sophomore. Both of those combined for 5 touchdowns and over 500 yards rushing on the year. And then they may even go 3 deep with Jarius Burnett in the rotation as well for the Mound Builders. And then at receiver, they have the same guys that they've had, the same 4 or 5 guys. It seems like Andre Jones, who's, they kind of seem like they've been there forever. Zion Kenner, Josh Edson. Matt Holthusen. I mean, those 4 guys are pretty consistent guys and very reliable for their team. Jones with 9 touchdown catches on the year, Edson with 5, Holthusen with 2, and Kenner with 1 on the season. They have a different kicker this year after Gabe Medrano moves on. He was a very talented kicker. He was a special teams player of the year in the conference, I think, twice, maybe even the last 2 years, if my memory serves me correctly. But pretty outstanding to move on from him, and obviously some big shoes to fill in that position. So interesting to see what they will bring with that. And the defensive side of the football, for the Mound Builders, Josh Carter, a local product out of Wichita Northwest High School, 49 tackles on the year, and a couple interceptions for him as well, being effective in the passing game. And have all sorts of guys: Deshaun Flowers, Cameron Cornelius, Diego Stubbs, Eric Preston, Jacardin Hardiman, Darren Hicks, a few different other guys. You can look at Shane Rodriguez, however, 5.5 sacks on the year. He's talented.
Yes, he is.
Hardiman with 2.5 on the season. So definitely some talent for them on both sides of the football. But yes, what do you think about Southwestern? I mean, Coach, you know the history, you know everything that they put into their program, but and what to expect a lot of times scheme-wise from them. But what's it about Southwestern in 2023?
I mean, they're good. They're good, man. And like I said, man, one game, one drop in one game last week, it doesn't change the fact that they're a good team. It's not like, they're not a good team. Man, they're good. You went down a list, and although I've seen it, I sent you the 2 deep, right? What I mean? I've seen it, and I looked, and we've got Coach Cagle over here, and of course he knows those guys really well, and of course we know that they're really, really good. But as you're sitting here naming them, and I'm just like, yep, and him, and him. Right, him too. You know what I mean. So they're really good, man. And our guy, we've got to be ready to play, man. We got to want to play, and we got to want to play as long as it takes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And whatever happens, man. But if we go there, man, thinking that they're not a good football team, or that we're just gonna roll into Southwestern, and Bethel's got them the last 3 or 4 years, or however many years it's been. No, man, we'd be setting ourselves up for failure. You know, we gotta continue to prepare like it's gonna be a dogfight, because there's a great chance that it's gonna be. You know what I mean? A dogfight. So, man, they've got a lot of great players. They've got a great coach. You know, I have as much respect for Coach Griffin as I do for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, great coach. Matter of fact, you know, he's one of the few coaches too. I talked to just a couple of coaches. You know, he's one of the few that I would feel comfortable calling and talking to. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, tremendous respect for them, and I think the best way to respect somebody, man, is to be ready to play them. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely don't take them light or look at anything, because, you know, I know this, man, that they're not gonna stop. They're gonna look at it just like everybody else. Like, okay, I dropped a game, other people can too. Like, let's take care of business. And with them, they still have an opportunity. If they can, you know, if they can win out, they still have an opportunity for an at-large bid, because the field is 20 now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they still have a huge opportunity for that. They still kind of really control their own destiny, in a sense, being ranked 14th in the country. So, you know, we've got to understand they've got a lot to play for, and if I was them, man, I wouldn't, you know, hold anything back, man. I throw everything and the kitchen sink at us, and we're gonna be prepared for it with great effort and great energy, and, you know, prepare for them to be at their best.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely want a shot at Bethel, especially in Winfield. You know, there's so many factors for them. They're like, okay, you know, they're ready to go to work against you guys. Not only that, because you guys the Bethel program has taken so many games in a row against Southwestern. And not only that, they had a few of their key guys hurt against you last year in the game in North Newton. So they're ready to come out here and be like, okay, now I'm going to show out, you know, you know, show everything that they have. And it's no question going to be a very tough football game. Always interesting when Bethel and Southwestern go at it. And in football, honestly, in a lot of different sports that I've covered over the last 5 years. If it wasn't football, it was basketball, it was volleyball, it was softball. You know, you name it. It's always been a fantastic contest when Bethel and Southwestern play, and should be another one great for you guys. You know, it won't be a surprise for me, Coach, if they're going to throw the ball a little bit and try to test you deep. I mean, they've done that every year against Bethel, and I can remember. You know, and especially, you know, see Tristan being able to throw for 300 last week against you guys, and some of the other quarterbacks that, you know, that are very, very talented. You know, Eli Williams threw for 300 as well against you guys. I mean, they you know, they had the ability to do all those different things.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, we welcome it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, like, yeah. You always challenge yourself.
And I feel like it's crazy because, yes, you know, Tristan Zabo, right?
Yeah.
He threw for 300 yards, but what the stat line doesn't tell is the real story as to when those yards came. You know what I mean? Like, there were a lot of yards that came in the last 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, our guys, and this isn't like to discredit a 300-yard passer, because he did it. You know, hats off, man. But when you can see the story of the game, like if he throws for 300 yards and, you know, we win by a couple touchdowns and those yards come late, we win. You know what I mean? Like, we win. And so our DBs, man, they've been playing phenomenal, man. And especially, you know, that stuff that happened early, you know, it happened in real time, right? And, you know, our guys, I thought they played extremely well, especially being able to get 2 interceptions and several pass breakups, a couple that could have been interceptions. You know, Robin Neely could have had 2 interceptions, right?
Cade Miller could have had an interception per touchdown.
So we could have some more, and our guys have been working. And not only that, man, we got Coach Cagle throwing the ball this week in practice, playing a little scout team quarterback. You know what I mean? So that's fun. He's doing a great job, and I'll tell you what, man, it showed why he's a first teamer in this conference.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He puts it on the money. He challenges our DBs, and man, they're thankful. He got to put up after practice today.
There you go.
For putting the old cleats on and slinging that thing around. He really was.
Is he in pads?
No.
I was gonna say that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll be in pads next week when I try to imitate Cavante
Oh my! I might have to try to see that.
Hey man, it's gonna be on the film, It's gonna be on the film. Yeah, So I'm definitely that dude. I'm that dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
But no, Keiku's, man, he's doing a great job of like you said, we know we're anticipating being challenged. We're anticipating it. And last week, I feel like because I feel like our defense is a strong suit of our team, and that includes the secondary. We are not. A couple weeks ago, I probably would have not been extremely confident in not our ability but our play. You know what I mean?
Sure.
2 different things.
Yeah.
But right now, man, I'm as confident in those guys' ability and play. Combined, man, I'm as confident as I've ever been, and I know those guys are too. They and it just comes, man. Like we talk about doing things in practice, and they become routine in the game. And we use the example of Ray Allen hitting that shot, and I think it would have been a 2012 NBA Finals or whatever.
For the Celtics?
No, when he was
the Heat?
For the Heat, yeah. So I don't know when that would have been. Somewhere around there.
Yeah,
when he hit that shot against San Antonio Game 6 or something like that, and sent it to Game 7. Then the Heat goes on to win a championship, and everybody being amazed by that shot. And and I think it was LeBron saying, "Man, I see him hit these shots all the time.
Yeah.
I see him hit them all the time." And that's kind of the mentality that we're trying to have. Like when a guy do something great in the game, he's like, "Man, they do this all the time."
Right.
And that's where we're trying to get. So that comes with challenging our DBs, and we like I said, we welcome it. I hope this doesn't become a meme because we get cooked for like 600 yards.
Man,
like, when something bad happens, be like, we welcome it.
If I had a penny for every meme I saw in the conference over the last 5 years, I'd have one maybe. So I think you're safe for that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, should be a pretty good game between Bethel and Southwestern. You guys definitely on offense, showing some versatility. So many people are thinking, oh, this team just wants to run the ball. I mean, they're just going to hand it off. Caden Christensen again. DJ Sears is going to, if it's not him, it's him. There's so many things that people see.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you want to test some things. And some stuff works, some doesn't. Honestly, I mean,
yeah, it doesn't, and that's the thing too about what we're trying to do offensively. Like now we're in district play, then we've got new plays every week. We've got something new that we're doing every week. I'm telling you'll see. Like, hey, I've never seen them do that before. Like every week, man, and not like trickery type stuff. Just a different formation, a different motion, a different route, a different run scheme. Like, and we just we're just gonna try it. We're gonna do it. You know what I mean? It's a football. I tell Denton, man, he's like, what's my limit? I said, your imagination. You know what I mean? Your imagination is your limit.
Yeah.
So let's do it. We'll look at it on Tuesday. Try to tweak it on Wednesday. If we don't like it, it's scrapped on Thursday, and we still have everything that we're doing. But for the most part, man, it's gonna make it through the progression of we look at it, see what we need to adjust, tweak it on Wednesday, Thursday perfect it, Friday run it on air, and then Saturday we're gonna be ready to to hopefully give some guys some fits. So
yeah, absolutely. Yes, again, Bethel and Southwestern playing from Winfield this week. It's a 1:30 kick from Winfield, and you can watch it on the KCAC network. And it should be a great contest. Again, Bethel and Southwestern, always a good game. A lot of good day games and a lot of good night games, whether it was Winfield or North Newton over the last 5 years. Definitely some special moments for some of your upperclassmen, the guys that have been here, the fifth-year guys especially. So many good things, memories from playing, and big ball games against Southwestern. And that's the thing, against big teams, big players are going to step up and make big plays. And each of the last couple of years, somebody has in this game at the very end and decided it. And it will be interesting to see what happens this week against Southwestern. So Bethel and Southwestern going at it here. Coach, I was thinking about this thing earlier in the show, and it just kind of reminded me a little bit. But there's so many things to encourage your team with. I guess one of them is, from my vantage point, is you're only guaranteed one more home game this year.
That's it. 4
more games of the regular season. How do you want to spend that time?
That's it.
And I mean, it's just mind-boggling that there's only just one home game left.
That's it
for me personally, because I love the home atmosphere.
Yeah,
certainly, and it's senior day, so it'll be great as well. But it's just we're at this point to where it's like you got to give everything you have. It doesn't matter what condition you're in, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny you say that. That's the message, man. That's the message that the window is of opportunity is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And it's like, man, all you want to do is that at the end of the 4 weeks here, you want there to still be a crack. That's it. You know what I mean? In order to do that, man, you gotta do some heavy lifting, man.
Yeah.
You gotta do some heavy lifting, man, to try to keep that thing open. But like I said, man, that is a motivation factor, and also, man, we still remember, how our season ended, and that doesn't guarantee that we're gonna run the table or anything like that, but it's something that I've been reminding these guys about since divisional play has started now. Just like, man, you still have an opportunity to control your own destiny, man. Do everything you can. Do everything you can to keep control of that. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, man, it's over. It's not guaranteed, and since it's not guaranteed, you might as well just assume it's over. And it would be over. You know what I mean? So I think our guys understand that. The early losses solidified it. That we have to do everything that we can to win. That's it. We got to do everything we can. And if we fall short, I tell the guys all the time, man. If we fall short, number one, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. The right way and not have any regrets about it. And then also, it won't be because we were incapable. You know what I mean? I tell them that. I say, you got to understand that it won't be because you were incapable of doing something. It'll be because we didn't get it done. And that's a tough reality.
Right.
That's a tough reality, man. If you ain't mature enough, it'll scare you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for me, man, it's just like, no, you got to know who you are in this world, man. You got to know who you are to move forward, man. And so right now we know, man, we're a bunch of alligator dogs. Isn't that what you think? You know what I mean? We're a bunch of alligator dogs, and we got to act like it. We're not pedigrees. We're not, championship prize fighting big pit bulls or anything like that. We're alligator dogs, man. We don't look like as ferocious as we are right now. And our guys, I believe they understand that. Because obviously they came out this last week. Last week has nothing to do with the next week. And I told them, I said, why would you want to do the things that you did last week this week? Why would you want to do that? You should want to get better. You know what I mean? And that's the mentality we got. I swear, you'd have thought we lost at our team meeting today. You'd have thought we lost I'll tell the truth because of me, because of my vibe in there, but at the same time, it's like, hey, man, that's gone. This is a new week, And if we stroll in here thinking that last week's work is gonna affect this week, we might as well just pack up and go home. We might as well. So I'm excited. I thought we had an interesting practice today. There's a couple things that we challenged the guys on to correct, and I believe they're gonna get it done tomorrow. But I think that, you know, we got what we needed to get out of today's practice, and the guys are ready to move forward. So definitely better than a few weeks ago, but you know, we want to have, you know, it's from here on out, man. We want the best practices. Every practice needs to be the best practice. The next practice needs to be the best practice. You know what I mean? So that's just where we're at.
You said it right. You said it all, Coach. And on that note, we're going to wrap up the show here from Thresher Football Show. Coach, I know it's a sincere message, but give you some shout-outs here for the end of the show. Yes,
sir, man, it is. It definitely is sincere, and I did it because I think I said this on the last show, but, you know, I'm a very superstitious man, right? Okay, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. Office joke, right? I think. Shout out Steve Carell, right? But no, and these last couple of weeks, Dad, I really been thinking, like doing things just for the sake of thinking that it's gonna help you to win, especially in the lifestyle that I live, that we live. You know what I mean? As believers. Man, that's in so many ways, man, that ain't cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially when I'm, you know, talking about how much I love God and thinking like, oh, I didn't say it last week, so God's gonna punish me, or I didn't say it, so I'm not gonna win. Like, that's crazy, right? But it is sincere, man, that I do, man, with all my heart, man. Man, I love the Lord, man. I love His Son. I love Jesus, man, and definitely want to point people in that direction with my actions and with our play, with how we live our lives. And I definitely love my family, my wife and my kids with everything I have, man. And I do. I love Bethel College and Bethel College football for everything, man. All the opportunities that they've afforded us and all of the memories that we have to date and the memories that we're going to make. Hopefully some great ones down the stretch here, man. But I'm super excited, ready to go this week. That's all I got for you, Dan.
All right, appreciate it. No question. Yeah, definitely a lot of gratitude on this end of things as well. And I can only imagine what you guys are capable of doing these last few weeks. So for Coach A.B. Stokes, I'm Dan Page. Thanks everybody for watching, whether you're a fan, a parent, an alum, a donor to Bethel College, or have no connection to Bethel whatsoever, just love in football or something like that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for, you know, just whether it's this show or the broadcast, appreciate all that you support that you give to not just myself, but all the student athletes and the coaches here at Bethel College in the athletic department. So for Coach A.B. Stokes, I'm Dan Page saying, roll on.